I'm not a big fan of shopping. And it's not like I'm a man, I hate shopping because I am a man. It's because I don't know, I just don't like it. I get in and I get out. There's no looking around, alright? I don't like browsing, okay? I'll browse a little bit if I have to, alright? If I'm with someone else and they like to browse, I'll browse with them. But if it's just me by myself, there is no browsing. I will not be browsing this day. Everything's on a list. Everything's in my brain. And I'm not some, anal person who everything has to be neat and tidy and on a list and everything's pinpointed out. No, that's not me at all. I kind of wish it was because my life would be so much better, but I'm not. But with this specific thing, when it comes to shopping and having to be around, dumb people, I'm in and out. The reason I'm giving you this big spiel is because the other day, for the first time ever, I went into Costco. Now, if you're American, you know what Costco is. It's a big wholesale warehouse and has everything. It has coffins in it, for Christ's sake. But it also has people, and that's the main part that I didn't like. If you haven't figured out already, this is going to be me ramming against Costco and just all of it, the whole experience, everything. It's terrible. Now, I had to go to Costco for the very first time for another person. I'd never been there before. I don't have a membership. I never paid for a membership. I always kind of wanted to go, get a couple things in bulk, as you do as a human being. But I hadn't bothered to go myself. I haven't needed to. So anyway, I park and everything's fine and dandy. Fantastic. Park easy. I start walking in, and that's where the first problem is. I saw the trolleys, and you might be thinking, what's the problem with big trolleys? And let me point to this. Someone having a big trolley is very much like someone having a big car. They think they can just push their way into anything, they can do whatever they want. They have no sight of anyone else. That's my first problem. So when I saw the big trolleys, I went, I don't want to, put anything on this joint, I haven't been inside yet, but this might be a shitty experience. Anyway, I walk in, I scan the little QR code, fantastic, I'm in, and I take a first look and I go, this is so big, I don't like this, this is too big. I heard it when I was saying it, it's not, get your mind out of the gutter, alright? I know it sounds like something your mum would say, but she's not here, she's in my bedroom. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm sure your mother's a very nice woman. I didn't mean it. But anyway, enough of the shenanigans. Let's continue forward. Anyway, I walk in with my big trolley. I did want just a basket because I didn't really need a big trolley. But they don't have baskets. They have big trolley or flatbed. Because I guess if you don't buy big, you piss off. I walk in and instantly there is 1,000 people walking around. Like drones. Now, this is unusual when you walk into a place of shopping. But it felt like extra. Everyone was just the fog of war. They were just one-track mind. They didn't even know anyone else was there. It was crazy. It was like walking around 1,000 NPCs. I felt like I was the only human there. You know how people are always calling other people NPCs and this, that, and the other, whatever? No, this time I was like, you know what? Maybe they have a point. Because I swear everyone in that Costco was an NPC. Nothing going on except for me buy rotisserie chicken. Like, I'm not built for Costco. I never thought I'd say it, but I'm too polite for Costco. I swear I was the only person who's ever been in that shop who's ever dodged and weaved out of another person's way. Like, if I didn't have the presence of mind, 15 times I counted, 15 times I would have been ran into. Like, I'd just be walking by, and someone's looking at, the mandarins, and then suddenly, as I'm going by, they walk backwards, and I'm like, oh fuck, I've got to get out of the way. And they have no clue. They're none the wiser that I've even been there. It's as if I was a ghost. And, that's fine. I get it. You're in your own little world, but courtesy, people, courtesy. And I don't know what it is, because I feel like in, the regular shopping centres in Australia, right, I don't know if this is different to America, maybe it is. Maybe in America everyone's got their blinders on. As soon as I'm saying it, I know that it is an American culture, because I've been there a few times, and, you'd be walking in Disneyland with, tens of thousands of people, and most people think they're the only people there. They just, they just don't care. They have no thought of anyone else but themselves. And it's not really like that in Australia. We're humans, we're dickheads, right? But I feel like there's a little bit more presence of mind when you're shopping. If I go to Woolies or go to Coles or Aldi, whatever, there's a little bit more presence of mind. You still get your dickheads, but people are, generally like, oh, they'll move out of your way, or vice versa, It's a very two-way, like, oh, there are other people in this area. Costco, none of that. It's like, no one exists except for me, and it's very American, and I think it's because it's an American wholesale. I don't know why. It's like everyone, as soon as they walk through that door, their brain switches to American only, and they just got the blinders on. America only, America first, We're the only people that exist. But that goes on to another point. As soon as I walk into Costco, it was like getting off a plane. Every time I've gotten off a plane, anyone else has gotten off a plane in a foreign country, as soon as you get off, you're like, oh, I'm not home anymore. I feel like a foreigner. I feel like I'm not of this land, and I feel weird. I don't feel like right. I don't feel like I'm supposed to be here. That's what walking into Costco felt like, because there were a lot of families, a lot of people buying, 40 packets of toilet paper, and I was only there for 4 things. I felt like I was like a spy trying not to get caught. I didn't feel like I was supposed to be there. Anyway, I'm walking around aimlessly, because there are no fucking signs. The signs that are there are deli, bakery. I think there's like a where you can get food, but that's kind of more out the front. And there's like one other sign, maybe for produce. All the aisles are just numbered, like 310. What the fuck? What does 310 mean? Like when you go to a Woolies per se, and again, I'm not the biggest fan of Woolies, but at least, I know what I'm doing in there, and I've got all the tricks of the trade in there. You'll see a sign up above an aisle and it'll say dairy, bread, juice, that's probably not even an aisle, but you get what I'm saying. And you'll be like, oh, what I'm looking for is in that aisle, because I'm looking for something that is dairy related. Milk, cheese, butter. Costco, I was looking for some pancakes, and I was like, where do I even begin? Where do I go? What's happening? Because there's like baguettes there, and you'd think that the pancakes would be with the baguettes, but no, they're not. They're over with the lollies or something, near the produce. Actually, it was very strange. I didn't quite get it, but what I'm trying to say is the aisles, I wish they had, signs saying like, oh, this has got the Nesquik in it. Not that specific, obviously, but like this has got food. It's got food in it. Because as a first timer in Costco, it's very hard to navigate, especially when you got that many people in there. You're just dodging and weaving. Basically, my whole trip was dodging and weaving these people with these gigantic trolleys. Yeah, it gets very overwhelming very quickly. You're like, where's the cheese at? And I don't think there was any store members around. It felt like it was just, run by the kids. That's what it felt like. The school was run by the kids. Like, there were the people doing, like, the taste test, hey, you want to try this block of cheese? Want to try this bit of meat? Everywhere else, I didn't see any store members. I think I saw one unpacking some bread or something, but that was it. And then the rest were at the front, obviously, at the counters, at the cash register. But me, a fast shopper, when I have a list, I know what I want, I get in, I get out. I had 4 items I had to get. You know how long it took me to get those items? 25 minutes. 25 minutes. 4 items. I did that the other day at Woolies. I was out in 2 minutes. Will you birds shut up? There are birds outside my window and they're chirping. They're really interrupting me. They're really pissing me off. Quiet, you. It's probably some Costco-funded birds trying to distract me from my very important rant on Costco. Now, and I'm not 100% blaming Costco for the 25 minutes it took me to find 4 items. Because, again, the people in there are drones. It's like they switch their brain off. They just become one with the store. And that didn't help either, having to dodge and weave, and people would just stand in the middle of the aisle and they'd just be looking at stuff, up there, like, oh, what the hell, what's that? Oh, that's my green beans. My green beans are up there. Why are you standing in the middle of the fucking aisle for? Move! So that didn't help the situation, having to dodge and weave every 2 seconds and getting stuck behind people with their giant damn trolleys. I hate these trolleys. I hate them. But, I think, a bit of signage would help. That'd be nice. That'd be good. Because the stuff that I was looking for that was in, like, the deli section and the bakery section, I found instantly. You know why? Because it had fucking deli and bakery up there. I went, oh, I gotta go over there. And then I had a quick look and went, oh, there's the thing that I'm looking for. The other stuff that are just in the aisles... That was me the whole time. I looked like an idiot. But to be fair, looking like an idiot, I fit right in. So anyway, after the 25 minutes, I found my stuff, walked up to the cash register, and, I was walking with my trolley. And this one was on me, I will say. This one was on me. I was highly stressed after that experience. And I was about to, push my trolley through the cash register, and he went, can you get your trolley on this side, please? I went, huh? And I looked, and the sign said, trolley this side, person on the other side. And I went, oh, I've never had that before. That's a first. A trolley too big to fit through the hole between the other cash registers. I've never had that before. I didn't think of that. But again, there was a sign, so that one was on me, Costco. That one was on me. I'll put my hands up for that. If I, actually learned to read, I should have saw that. So that was That was my fault. I'll give you that one. Oh, but actually, I just had a thought. The double chunk choc chip cookie, that is 5 booms. It's 5 booms. I mean, you know, I don't want to step on anyone's toes, and I know the system, okay, and I know the system is 5 booms, but if it were me, I'd give it 6. I know the rating system doesn't go up that high, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes, so I'm just going to move on before any lawsuits. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see you later. And this felt good. I feel good after ranting about that. And I think my friends and family will say, thank God he's ranted about it. Now he can move on forever. Because we're sick of hearing about how shit your first experience at Costco was. So, you've done them a favour. My neurosis has been cured. Until the next thing pops up. So, won't be long.
Shifty Drongo. I love Shifty Drongo.